welcome to my couch. So let's get right into Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 13. So we start off with Giselle meeting Juan at the jeweler's. It's really nice to see Juan in a place where he's certain about his relationship with Robin and wanting to move forward. Giselle talks about her relationship with Jamal and that it's on the trajectory for marriage. And, I would say as long as you're happy, that's great. Even though nobody else agrees with this relationship, it's not our relationship. It's not your daddy's relationship, but this is your choice. So, I guess I'm not even going to say that. Good luck to them. So apparently Robin wants Morganite in her ring because it symbolizes eternal love. You are rude. Robin wants a ring with Morganite in it because it symbolizes eternal love. And so the jeweler is showing them rings that cost $59,000. And that is not in Juan's current budget. He is not a basketball player anymore. So he lets them know that his budget is between $8,000 and $10,000, which is great. And they settle on a ring which is $8,900. I think even with, because I remember there being a blog that shaded the hell out of them for the ring that they had, but it was like, this is what Robin wants, and why do they need to spend so much money on a ring? They already have like tax issues and whatnot. They're trying to buy a house. Is that really worth it? It's nice to have something nice in your hand to show off and all that stuff, but let's keep it responsible. So Monique is at her house getting prepared for her live podcast with Pastor Pearl? Pearl, who is a pastor and also is Chris's godfather. Pearl has been a shoulder for them both to lean on in the relationship. He grounds to both of them and really just helps them push through things. Monique is really concerned because her event is not selling out. And the last we heard, there was only 20 tickets sold of 300 seats. And it's really interesting in the idea of thinking that if you're on a show like this, everything you do sells out. Like, we think most of what Candy's done has done really well, apart from, I think, her plays. The plays didn't work out very well. You seem to think that, you can put it on the show and people are just going to support, and it just doesn't always work out that way. Monique tells Pearl that she is embarrassed about the whole fight situation, and she finally has come to a place where she feels remorse for what she did to Candace, and that Candace did not deserve that, and that she was ready to call her and apologize, but then that's when she got reached out to about the lawsuit. So even with this going on, she decides that she wanted to reach out to the ladies to invite them to the event and show them that, she's made some changes and see how she's improved since the last time that they saw her. So Robin and Wendy don't really sound they're very cordial on the phone. I thought they were very respectful, and they were very truthful in the sense that they weren't really sure if they wanted to support it. Wendy was very straightforward and was like, the last time I spoke to you, you didn't seem to have any remorse. And she clearly tells her that she does now, and she still wants to share this moment with her. And they say they'll think about it. Karen says she's on board, she's excited to go, which is fantastic. Pearl tells Monique, we want people to be and think the way we think, but that's not a reality. And I wholeheartedly agree with people on this. You could think about things like voting for Trump versus Biden, and then Biden and Kamala, and everybody wants people to agree with them on their points, but this world is a place where people just don't agree on situations, and it's rough, and it's just something you gotta go through. Not everyone's gonna agree with you. So Karen and Ray go to see Dr. Ava Laura, who is a life coach. Ray tells the doctor that he is on his third retirement, and now Karen is just blooming into business and whatnot. And he's used to her being Ray Huger's wife, and now he's Karen Huger's husband. And that has to cut a man like Ray, a man who's been successful in life, had this arm candy all the time, and now he's the piece, he's the candy. If that's what you want to call Ray. Karen says it's a new place that they're in his marriage, and it takes work, and she feels like Ray feels like he doesn't have to do a thing. He acknowledges that marriage takes work, but he also says that you have to be there to do the work. So it seems like Karen isn't home as much as she used to be. He says that before, Karen had nothing to do besides the home and him. And it sounded kind of crazy. But now she has other things to do, you know? He's clearly jealous. Or, no, jealous feels like a harsh word, but he's clearly not loving the switch of roles in their relationship, and he's struggling with that. So Karen says to him that she wants to address his finances, and that, you know, he's never really acknowledged the fact that she's stepped up and helped out with the kids and all that, which means that maybe she had to take over payments for her daughter's college or what have you when that all went down, as well as she had said, I've forgotten that she had said when she was drunk that she had to pay for half the tax situation. But she would like to hear a thank you from him. And I just can't believe this man has not thanked his wife for helping him through that situation. He says that he regrets not doing that at the time, but we can't go back. And the doctor acknowledges you can't go back, but we can fix the situation right here and now, which I don't understand how we didn't get that. I'm starting to see some sides of Mr. Huger that ain't cute. And so then he thanks Karen for what she's done, and she knows that had to be hard for him. But she sees it as genuine. So hopefully they're able to move things on. So Wendy is giving breast milk samples to her boys, and I hear that breast milk tastes really good, and I'm never gonna know until I have my own kid. So Wendy is calling Giselle to invite her to her event, which is Wine with Wendy, and it's about empowering women who are movers and shakers in the DMV area. She says she's about empowering women, not women who beat other women. Good for you, girl. She checks in on Candace, who has to take, she checks in on Candace, who apparently has to take her time hour by hour to, make sure she's okay, because she's having many panic attacks, apparently, about all the lies that are coming out on the internet, which is set up by Monique, as she thinks. Wendy asks how Candace and Karen are doing, and she says not very good, and she feels away because Karen was the one who said to her that if it was her, she would press charges. She says that she didn't press charges because of what Karen said, but she feels like Karen is backpedaling, and that's very telling of her. Giselle drops Jamal to the airport, and apparently he flies in as much as he can to go to the girls' events, and he hates missing them, which is great. It's an hour and a half trip up there, and he can afford it with the church's money. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if he's using the church's money to fly. But anyway, Giselle is not feeling good about the long distance relationship, and she feels like the only thing they could do is separate, but that's not what she wants. And she wants to, since seeing or being with Juan while he's picking out the rings, it's brought up all these feelings for her. And he tells her, your battle cry was to protect your space, and your priority was safeguarding your individuality. So I've been intentional not to infringe on that. And she says, no matter what we're doing, I see us as together. And she asks if she's alone in that. And he's like, no, he's here and he's been waiting for her. And that surprised her. She had no idea that he felt that way. He said this is her first time in even expressing that she felt that way. And but she thought that he could just read her mind, but he's not trying to make assumptions of how Giselle used to be compared to what she is now. He's waiting for her to say how she feels, and that gives him relief that she now is ready to move forward. Is it me, or does he always talk like he's on the pulpit? Like, it just feels like it's a little bit too much, and I'm wondering if he's doing that because he's on camera, but it's not cute. I just act a little normal, sir. It's real extra. I don't like it. Anyway, he goes to the airport. They get in the car. They give each other a church hug. Monique's event, Not for Lazy Moms, is underway, and it's looking pretty scarce up in there. Ain't nobody up in there. And she's concerned because if there's not enough people, then she has to cover the cost for food and beverage. She goes into the back for a team meeting, and the event MC, Poe Taylor, asked her about Q&A and how they should handle questions. And Monique says they can ask anything, but she would like to not talk about the fight with her and Candace. And Poe Taylor looks very shocked by that. Ashley comes to the event, and she's the only one of the women that have come to support her. Apparently Karen is sick, and I believe that she's sick because Karen ain't one to lie or, mess around with people like that. But Monique is still bothered by that, and she feels like she needed Karen's support that day, as she's shown up for Karen when she was 8.5 months pregnant. But I feel like Monique is just being a little extra sensitive because the event's not going as planned, and that she doesn't have the full support of the other women. But people get in their feelings. Robin and Wendy decide that they're not going because Robin feels like it hasn't been enough time for her to actually be remorseful, even though they wanted her to be remorseful right away. And Wendy feels like she would be betraying Candace. But Robin I really find very funny because all the time she's gotten in people's face, I ain't heard her apologize for any of those. But I guess she's absolved of her behavior. Monique says Candace has always been an antagonizer, but she did not deserve what had happened. Ashley tells her that Karen was the one who told Candace about pressing charges, and Monique is shocked by that. She says that Karen has always had her back. She's shown herself as a true friend. Why would she then go and push Candace to press charges? Ashley thinks that Karen was the one who pushed the domino and for these charges to happen, but I just kind of feel like Karen said what she would do if it was her. She didn't tell Candace to go and press charges. I feel like those two things are different things. So she said, this is what I would do if it was me. And I think she would have done it 10 times better than Candace. Yeah, I don't feel like she has betrayed Monique in any way. She just says that this is how she would handle things for herself. So anyway, Q&A happens, and the first question up in the Q&A, Miss Poe Taylor says, what is the current state of your relationship between you and Candace? And so I feel like Monique was taken a little bit aback by that, but she says, pray for us. So the only way that Miss Poe Taylor ain't a messy bitch is if when the camera's cut off or in editing, they had said, say it as the first thing so that we can get it out of the way and move on. But I just kind of feel like maybe Poe was just like, we just gonna say it anyway because I'm not with the foolishness. She gave me that kind of energy. So Robin and the family go bowling, and Robin is talking to Juan about the tax situation, and she's nervous to tell her parents about it, but they already may know, so it has to come up anyway. So when they arrive, she sits them down, she tells them what's going on, and they say that they had already seen it on the internet the day before. And, you know, that how they were concerned, well, Juan and Robin were concerned because, you know, they're trying to buy a house and this, that, and they were concerned about what they would think. Robin says that her parents were really disappointed in their previous financial situation, so she doesn't want them to be worrying about what's going on now. So apparently they are going to have the situation fixed in a few months, and the lien on the house would be, well, the lien will be lifted and they'll be able to move forward. So Robin goes to the bathroom, and while Robin goes to the bathroom, Juan grabs the kids and talks to grandma and grandpa about the fact that he wants to marry Robin, and they look so not pleased, which is really interesting because Mama said before that she wanted them to get remarried. So I don't know what that was. I know Granddad wasn't happy about it, but I guess he needed to hear some of what Juan was feeling about the situation, and that maybe Robin wasn't pushing it all forward. He seemed really genuine about it, and so Granddaddy gave his blessing. He said blessing again too. Isn't that cute? So the ladies go to Wine with Wendy, sans Monique, and Robin shows up in this new wig of hers, a dark-haired wig with like some red tips on the end, and the ladies drag her ass for filth about this wig, saying it's synthetic, she should never wear it again, and this includes Giselle. I'm like, woo, baby, I hope they had told her that at the event so she didn't go around with that wig again. So at the event, they talk politics and small businesses and blackness, and it seems like a really great event. It went off amazingly. The room was full, and the energy seemed really good. So Candace pulls Karen aside, takes her downstairs so that they could talk, and tries to keep it, you know, like a positive conversation and not ruin Wendy's event. So Giselle tells the ladies, now that Karen's off the table, that Wendy had told her that she had paid half of Mr. Huger's tax bill. And she claims that she's concerned about Karen, and this is a cry for help, and she wants to be there and support Karen. I just feel like this is just another way to tell her business and have another scene and fake pretend like you care, because I don't really believe you, Giselle. I think you're full of shit. Downstairs, Candace tells Karen that she has been going to therapy, and that she feels like Karen has made excuses for Monique, and that she's been coddling her, and she feels like she feels like Karen has chosen a side. And she needs to hear Karen say that what Monique did was wrong. But Karen has said that several times. I really don't know, like, do you need blood? Like, I'm not getting it. And this, like, is insulting to Karen. And Candace says, Karen says to her that, Candace, you're a brilliant woman. Your mind is so powerful, but so is your mouth. Okay? And that a year ago, she coddled her and defended her, even though she didn't agree with all the things that Candace was saying and doing. And I was like, yes, Karen, you better get her together. And she was like, if the shoe was on the other foot, she would do the same for Candace. And she has done. And she said she will not be told what to say or what to think. Ooh, she's a strong lady. I love me some Karen Huger. And then upstairs, the ladies ask Ashley what she thinks. And she feels like Monique and Chris, with the whole booty rubbing thing, that they could have, you know, gone against her and Michael. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, lie? Because they didn't see anything. And she was like, yeah, they could have. And they were like, that's crazy. And I really agree with them. What do you mean? Like, you're saying that they could have lied about you, but why would they do it? So you're giving them props for just being normal, decent human beings. That don't make no sense. Like, I'm gonna need you to come up with something else. Like, I feel like that was weird. I don't even know, it was weird. Then Wendy brings her fast ass downstairs and gets into Karen and Candace's conversation. And, you know, Karen is talking about how she's glad that Candace is sharing with her about her therapy and whatnot, and that she feels bad for what she's going through. And Wendy wants Monique to just say that she don't like Candace, and that's why she beat her ass, instead of coming up with all these justifications and saying that she blacked out, but then you were running around talking about how you wanted to kill people. And Karen says that she thinks that there's something medically wrong with Monique. Again, another weird statement. I don't know why you would think something was medically wrong with Monique. She lost her temper. Like, maybe I might just live in the alternate universe. People lose their temper and do way weirder shit than that. We've seen it from the Karens out there in the world. Like, do way weirder shit than what Monique did. Okay, so Candace says that Monique has shown us that she has the capability of being violent in the past. But I'm like, so have you, Candace, and so has Robin. So what's that about? And she doesn't like that she doesn't like that Monique apparently is leaking lies to the blogs. And I'm like, people love to say this thing, and it's like, there were several people there who could have made any kind of story and given it to the blogs, and there was actual video. So it's weird to me that people use this as their go-to. So Wendy says that they don't want Karen to abandon Monique, they just want her to hold Monique accountable. And again, she has done that several times. You guys are just mad that she's being supportive of Monique because you want nobody to be over there with her. That's unfortunate. That's not what she chose to do, and Karen is more grown than the rest of you. So then Karen says, as educated as Wendy is, she sure sounds very ignorant. And Karen was coming with them liners today. Them one-liners was real good. And so you could tell it was going to get very heated in that conversation. So Candace quickly shuts that down, and Karen apologizes for going left. So they basically agree to disagree, and Candace thanks Wendy for having her back. I'm struggling with these names today, y'all. I don't even know why. And Candace feels like she's defended Karen so many times, and that she feels like she shouldn't have done that. She should have just kept her mouth shut. But then you could say the same for Karen, if that's the case. Don't have anybody's back, but you can't tell a person how to support you or defend you. So that is it for today, guys. Next week, they are either preparing for their vacation or going on their vacation, and we'll see how things continue to play out. Thank you guys for checking in with me today. I'd love to hear what you think about today's episode. Let's talk about it down below. See you next time.